Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warcraft Shadowlands patch 9.2. It is week 2 of this patch, which means a number of things became available. For one thing, there is a new world boss up here in Zereth Mortis. It is called Antros. Antros serves as the guardian to the treasures of Antecedent Isle. The Jailer's forces seek to use it in its newly dominated form to unearth the Isle's secrets to further desecrate Zereth Mortis. It seemed like a rough fight, at least in terms of the amount of AoE damage and such we had to kind of survive through. Now, if you're wondering, well, what does it drop? Well, for my class, the Death Knight, it drops, it says I'm level 200, level 200, but it actually dropped at 252 level of this conduit. But, more importantly, it drops 259 gear pieces. And this chest piece right here, it dropped for me. And it's nice. It's got haste and mastery. Oh, I really like that. And that's great for my spec, still playing Unholy. So that works really well. Although, appearance-wise, it looks a little, it's like I look like I have a big scarf wrapped around my neck, but doesn't quite match, but whatever, we'll go ahead and keep it for now. So anyways, looks like some other, daily stuff, like there's a quest here for the research. I'll go take care of that later. What I found out is that this right here is actually, okay, looks like they changed it. So last week it was only up for like 3 or 4 days, and then would reset. Turns out, I guess they got some complaints about that, and they decided to make it a weekly thing, because it looks like it's now labeled as weekly, and it'll be up there for the whole week, which is probably how it should have been. So, anyways, also, the raid is up. It's not up in LFR, obviously, but the new raid, Sepulchre, that is now available, because as you can see here in the pre-mades, lots of people are heading there, as we speak, to go work on normal, even heroic, all to check it out, see what it's like, learn the raid, of course, before LFR and, of course, Mythic for the World First race happens. So that's happening right now. My guild won't be doing that until later this weekend, which I will not be able to participate in because, well, it's going to be a busy weekend for me because The Batman is coming out in theaters, so that's going to keep me busy. Also, spring break is happening for some schools in this area that I live in. So, yeah, let's just say that they've already scheduled me all 3 days of the weekend, so no way I'll be able to join my guild for the raid. So, sadly, I won't be able to check out the raid this early on. I've already let them know that, so that's all I really need to do is let them know I can't make it because of that. So, also, you remember that dungeon that came out some time ago, Tazavesh? The big mega dungeon, this one right here. Well, this has now finally made it over here into the Dungeon Finder because it used to be just Mythic only. Now it's available for Heroic. So I will be doing separate videos on this dungeon, a couple separate parts, since they cut it into 2 separate parts, just like they did with what was it called? Operation Mechagon, this one. Yeah. So I will be doing a couple of parts on Tazavesh later. So, in case you're wondering story-wise, though, what's going on here? Well, I'm not entirely sure, except that you notice that somebody else is here now. So, when I logged in to start prepping for this, Bolvar said, the risk is too great, Uther. And then Uther said, there will be no further treachery. I will see to it. Oh, on cue, they decide to actually do those lines right when I said it. Alright, anyway, so yeah, Uther's here. I wonder why he's here. I bear important news that will grant us insight into the Jailer's methods. With faith and understanding, we may also execute true justice. There is much we should discuss, hero. Tell me what happened, Uther.
Sylvanas' soul has been fractured from the moment of her death until now.
was their home. And you slaughtered all of them! How could you take all those innocent lives? This was beyond life and death. There was no other path to true freedom. How can you not see that? I see what you are. Murderer! Monster! Butcher! Why can I not escape this torment?
The jailer has severed their bond and condemned her to endlessly relive her atrocities. So long as her soul remains divided, she cannot wake.
Maybe she shouldn't.
She's the only one who knows the jailer's plan and how we might save Anduin.
She's the one that turned Anduin.
Jaina is right. How can we possibly trust her?
Her wound runs so much deeper than mine. Well met, Ranger General.
What is this? Who are you?
Someone who shared your fate, felled by the blade of the very same prince.
Arthas. I died trying to stop that monster, only to wake up haunted by one with my face.
That Banshee is you.
No. I cannot accept that.
Her path began where yours ended, and you've seen the decisions she made.
Never in 1,000 lifetimes would I betray everything I stood for. You can't possibly understand.
The jailer is deceptively cunning. When I realized I had become his pawn, it nearly destroyed me. He had no doubts it would destroy you as well. Was he right? Or will you accept her shattered legacy and tell us how to stop him?
Her crimes are unforgivable.
Yes.
And she... I must face the consequences.
We cannot change the past, and we may never find forgiveness in the future. But inaction damns us all. Time is short, Ranger General. Make your choice. I've done all I can.
Okay. Obviously, we have to talk about that cutscene. We have to. I've let it be known for quite some time my ill feelings, to put it mildly, towards Sylvanas. And I've let it be known that I've never really liked Sylvanas as a character. But then again, that's more so just because... Well, not just because. It's... Her character's never appealed to me. I know it appeals to other people, and that's fine. I'm not saying she's a bad character. I'm just saying I've never really been a fan of her character, even though there's a part of me that always would have wanted to. And I kind of voiced this when we did the Blood Elf starting zone, which ended with us going to Sylvanas. We return the piece that has her do the song from the trailer from Burning Crusade, where she sings the Blood Elf's Lament. And I said that I kind of wish things had gone differently, because I feel like I could have then really liked her character. But just the way that she's been... But when you look at the things that she has done ever since then, it was just never appealing to me, because she was doing horrible things. And it was hard for me to like a character that would do just horrible things like that. Like, from back in the day, it wasn't like this was a recent thing with BFA. She's been doing horrible things since before Wrath. Like, even, like, before... Like, even back in Vanilla and such, like, you could even say what she did in Warcraft 3, but then again, some of that was kind of justified in terms of getting, taking down Garithos and such, but she was also pretty stupid for keeping Varamathos around. But, then we have to start trying to apply the new lore and the retcon stuff that they've been doing to that current existing lore, which really complicates the narrative of all those things that we know from the past. And this is one of the things that really frustrates a lot of people, including myself, when it comes to this expansion. Just the amount of things involving the Jailer that just outright changes stuff that we knew to be what the lore is, and just now it changes, like, the stuff that people have been talking about recently about how Blizzard is trying to make the Jailer, like, even Uther in that cutscene said, oh, the Jailer is deceptively cunning. And it's like, what? Like, they're trying to get us to buy this whole thing where the Jailer has had this whole thing planned for so long, and it's all been part of his big plan. And we start looking at all the things that happened, and we go, oh yes, clearly this was all part of one big, gigantic plan with everything. Like he was playing like 7th dimension chess or something. And it's just so absurd that they're trying to really push this when none of us are buying it. Nobody's buying it. I have yet to hear somebody say that they actually like the Jailer as a character based on how they have been doing him in this story throughout this expansion. Like, there are plenty that have ranted about how much they hate the Jailer as a character, that how they're trying to make the Jailer like this ultimate super big bad mastermind when none of us are really buying it at all. Like how? How can we possibly buy this? It's not believable. It doesn't make sense. The things that happened, it's like, oh, he just so happened to have that all planned out when none of us expected that to actually happen. And it took, like, chance for it to actually happen. It just, it's such a frustrating thing. And then you get to Sylvanas, and the idea of how that also ties Sylvanas in, where the idea in the lore before this expansion was the things that she did, horrible things, up till Wrath, because she was still doing terrible things up to Wrath. Then she killed herself, and that's where she supposedly met the Jailer and came back, along with the help of those Valkyr. And then from Cataclysm onward, she was kind of on a different agenda, but still doing horrible things. And just, it kept going, and apparently it was all on behalf of the Jailer, which eventually led into what happened in BFA. But then again, we also have to remember that a certain somebody amongst that horrible group of people that did those terrible things at Blizzard was one of the main writers of Sylvanas. So let's just say that perhaps, in hindsight, it wasn't the best idea to have that guy writing her and her story. And so we get to this point now where it's something that we have been anticipating, the forced Sylvanas redemption, with the idea of we are now going to try and play up Sylvanas in the same regard as... how do I put this? I've been pushing that Arthas was not horrible like some people think he was, because of the other stuff that they showed in the story that showed that Arthas never like became evil. He did things for his people, even though they were not exactly the best things to do. Like, I still defend what he did at Stratholme because of it was a no-win situation, but it was the best thing he could do with what he had at the time. And again, as I said as well in the Warcraft 3 playthrough, the Arthas book, delved more into that than what was shown on camera, where they actually did discuss whether or not they could have left to try and find a cure or something, and talked about how that they didn't have any time because the same thing happened to the previous town, and that happened within a matter of either minutes or even hours. So he knew they didn't have the time to be able to do that. Like, this is stuff I've discussed before. And whether or not this is something that would work if they tried to push this with Sylvanas, as them trying to now make Sylvanas not evil, but rather that wasn't her, that was her soul divided, and the horrible evil part of her soul became the dominant part. And basically what we just saw in that cutscene is that the good part of Sylvanas, going back to Warcraft 3, is still in there, and apparently she is being portrayed here as if she's some very noble, honorable person, when even the original Warcraft 3 didn't exactly depict her like that, at least not to me. That was my interpretation of how they portrayed Sylvanas back then. But I'm still wanting to wait and see how this all turns out by the end. I may not be a fan of this forced narrative of trying to all of a sudden now make Sylvanas a much more appealing, redeemable character, when it feels like... I do like that they are acknowledging, even the dialogue there with Uther, that it's possible she may never be redeemed for what she's done, because we cannot just brush under the carpet the things that she did regardless. Now, this is an argument we've also had with Kerrigan when it came to what she did in StarCraft, because it's an argument I've made on behalf of her about how what she did as the Queen of Blades, that wasn't actually her, that was the Queen of Blades, a separate entity. And that looks like that's what they're trying to do here with Sylvanas. They're trying to say that the Banshee was a separate entity, a separate being, just like the Queen of Blades was, while the real Sylvanas, like the real Kerrigan, was basically a prisoner within her mind the whole time and couldn't do anything except watch helplessly as her body was going around killing like thousands, if not millions, of innocent people. And I know plenty of people that absolutely hate that whole Kerrigan story because they hated that she just kind of got off scot-free, basically. That they felt like she should have paid for what she did, even though the point was that that wasn't actually her that did those things. That she was basically under the control of Aemon while she was the Queen of Blades. But they haven't really portrayed as if she was under the control of the jailer, but rather that she was her own separate thing. Though what's funny is that then, as the Banshee, she turns on the jailer in Sanctum, so... I'm not a fan of this, but I'm gonna hold off judgment on this. I'm gonna hold off on judging this until I see where this eventually goes. Like, we have to wait until we get to the actual ending of this expansion and see if they actually end that story arc there, or if they plan to continue it later on in another expansion. If they do, how they handle it, if they do it right, if they do it in a way that comes across as if it's not forced, or that it's actually believable, that makes sense, or that it doesn't leave a horrible sour taste in the mouths of the people invested in this story. There's a lot to discuss and unwrap about this, but yeah, I'm gonna hold off on the big final judgment and all that until we eventually get to the end. So. Sylvanas' experience may be intrinsic to Anduin's fate. I almost said Alduin. Oh gosh, imagine if Alduin was in Warcraft. The fate of Sylvanas is not my immediate priority. The jailer has destroyed the harmonic channels, ensuring that we cannot follow him. Perhaps the studious, enlightened brokers know something about these channels that will help us. But broker cooperation comes often with strings attached. Do whatever they demand. We must learn more.
We cannot defeat the jailer without help from the enlightened.
You are not a pilgrim. No.
Blasphemy! Your interference will cause far more harm than good.
How long will you be staying?
Stop asking for favors you cannot return.
You may speak. I will be here. I will help you. Favor. If you help me.
Elder Ara, we are in your debt. What do you suggest?
I believe a pilgrimage is in order.
Okay. Zareth Mortis has the answers you seek, if you know where to look. The other elders follow a strict interpretation of how best to honor the works of the first ones. I am not so inflexible. Our end goal is the same. Let us return to the area where you last saw the jailer.
I will travel ahead. Meet me outside of Provis Esper.
I'll get there before you. As you can see, by the way, I uncovered the entire map. It was funny, I first discovered this transporter, I was like, oh, I can go over here, I wonder what's over here. I didn't know that this is where they were going to put the world boss. But there were a couple little treasures over there, I was like, oh, I wonder what's going to be over here. Now it's like, oh, this is the world boss area. Okay. At least it's a little easier to get than, say, the one in the mall. That guy at times can just be a pain to get to. Especially if you don't have the fast travel option, which I don't on alts, because, well, you have to unlock that from our friend in the mall, so...
The forge. Majestic. Is it not?
The site below is crawling with devourers, but you can manage, yes? Yeah, I got it. Some evidence of the Mawsworn's destruction may remain in Provis Esper. Recovering that evidence will provide some clues as to how to follow this jailer. Let us hunt together. I will know the sign of the first one's magic when we are in its vicinity. Provis Esper is overrun with devourers, buzzing around like hungry Vespoids. They are destroying the local Atoma, which is not at all what the first ones intended. A cleansing is in order. For our safety and to restore the natural order, clear some of them out.
Good luck in your future endeavors. looks important.
Don't you just love playing dot classes on when you have quests like this? I know I do.
I see something amidst the rubble.
There we go.
Look! Up there! That avian is carrying something in its beak. Yes?
Only inert remnants, unfortunately. But do not lose hope, my friend.
Farewell.
Hello there.
Greetings.
More Devourers will come, but you have lessened their impact for now.
I will be here.
Pilgrim's Grace is a sacred site for the enlightened. The elders there have an intimate understanding of the creations of the First Ones. We will find answers there about these strange remnants we have found. Meet me at Pilgrim's Grace. It is not far.
Farewell. What could be more urgent than stopping the jailer?
Do you seek answers? Or truth?
Welcome to Pilgrim's Grace. Look, Nichuzad, the remnants are faintly glowing. They must be reacting to something in Pilgrim's Grace. Find out what's causing this reaction.
Take the fragments to wherever they glow the brightest. fragments are reacting to this translocator. Perhaps now you can use the device. It is not working? Nothing is easy. Well then, retrieve the fragments.
So the remnants have something to do with the translocator, but what? Whatever their prior function, they have no power now. If the remnants can be restored, someone in Pilgrim's Grace may know how. Begin with the Elder Nyrav. I hope he is willing to help. He seems anxious and distracted today. Find me in town when you are done.
Good luck in your future endeavors.
So it seems like this is going to be a way for us to unlock the transportation to get to the entrance of the raid.
Ah, it is you. How joyous. Apologies. I am preoccupied.
Peace, my fellow pilgrim. I believe you have found parts of a Translocator Key. At least that is what we have called them. From what we surmise, they channel the energy that flows from the creation catalyst to the forge. A fascinating artifact, but I doubt it can function with the forge in its current state.
So you are still... somehow...
Firoz is the most knowledgeable of us in such matters. He believed that anything could be restored atop the creation catalyst. I should say believes, not believed. I maintain hope that he has not met his demise.
You may speak.
Feroz is our best bet? And he has gone missing along with several other pilgrims? We should hurry.
Latif, tell the elders in Haven about the fate of our pilgrims. They must send help.
At once, Eldara.
I understand now why Elder Narav is filled with worry. Many of the pilgrims who have journeyed to the Catalyst wards have not returned. This includes Faraz, who is most likely to have information we need to restore the remnants. Prepare yourself. The first one's newest creations are prevalent at the Catalyst. If something has gone wrong there, it could be tragically dangerous. Actually, let's speed this up a bit. I like this on top of the extra mounted speed get for being a Death Knight. Just stack it on top of each other. For 1 hour. Oh, I can hold on to this for an hour. Of course he spawns there just as I leave. Whatever.
Where have you been? I found Feroz.
You must help the others. They are trapped inside.
Feroz explained what happened to the missing pilgrims. They're trapped inside the Catalyst wards. The Catalyst wards used to be peaceful. Pilgrims have been coming here for ages to observe the wonders of the first ones, but this place is no longer safe. The cultivator showed no mercy and no reason as it slew several of our brethren. You must destroy it. Other elders would disagree with me. The other elders are wrong. Glad to see that this is someone who actually uses her brain. I suspect we can harness the growth energy present in these plants for our own purposes, but I will need fresh samples. You can harvest energized plant matter from any of the lashers or vine-choked atoma nearby, or those inside the catalyst wards. I ran, scrambling through the thorny foliage, the lashers snapping at my heels. My fellow pilgrims were not so lucky. I could hear their screams of pain and horror as I fled. You must find a way inside. Rescue them!
The entrance to the catalyst wards is blocked with vines.
You must find a way in. Meet us at the gardens when you are done.
Hello, cultivator. Toy. I'm back. A Venthyr Fencer? These roots are overflowing with growth energy. I cannot thank you enough for rescuing the pilgrims who could be saved. Putting the cultivator down was the right call.
Who is that?
Hey, Nadja.
Mawwalker.
Hey, Draven.
I came the moment Bolvar notified me.
We came, Draven. We.
Using the roots you collected, I have crafted a concoction that, in theory, will cause the plants to revert to their natural state. Hurl vials of this remedy at the lashers of the Catalyst Gardens. If it works, wonderful. If not, you will need to deal with them more directly, by killing them. This growth energy is highly unusual. I would like to know more about how it affects the local Atoma. Thanks, Nadja. Harvest replicating essence from deceased Atoma in the Catalyst Gardens. Bring it back to me for study. Draven?
That floating structure looming overhead is the creation catalyst. I cannot get close to it. The tower is overloaded with an excess of progenitor energy. To travel there now would be suicide. There are consoles in the gardens that can be used to discharge that energy. Do so.
Do not let your guard down, Mawwalker.
Alright. Let's give these a test.
Simplicity itself. There is sap all over my blade.
Yeah, this one may take a little while.
There is sap all over my blade.
Sorry, Nadja. Nothing much I can do about that.
It is quite good to see.
She got the Euphoria buff. I love getting that buff on my Demon Hunter.
There is sap all over my blade.
Will you stop complaining?
So bright, so cheerful. I hate it.
I love it. She's like, oh, I can't stand how cheerful it is. There is a tower right over here. Let's check this out. Or rather, a console, excuse me.
All over my blade.
Oh, that's a big one.
There is sap all over my blade. Simplicity itself.
I'm out of range.
Not exactly the most exciting things to do right now, right? Oh, that's great. I just wasted a few of those because of the lag that happened at that moment. That's great. Looks like there's a rare over here, too. Okay. Find one or two. Ah. Alright, so I need to find 3 more of these.
Far away.
One more. There we are. Okay.
Well done, Mawwalker.
We will soon set foot upon this creation catalyst.
A quasi-successful test run, but a success nonetheless. It replicates rapidly until it kills the host. This is more of a curse than a gift.
And now to craft a strategy.
The strategy is I go first.
Hey, get back here!
Those Guardian Atoma will shoot down anything that attempts to reach the creation catalyst. May I suggest fighting fire with fire, or rather fighting the creations of the first ones with the creation energy of the first ones? I've had little time to adequately test my theory, but this potion should provide the boost that you need to destroy them, ideally without dying from exposure to the creation energy in the process. Oh, thanks.
Bottoms up.
Whatever happens, happens.
Whatever happens, happens.
It is working!
Okay. This reminds me of the quest in Legion when we were in Stormheim, trying to get into Odin's temple, and all of a sudden we're like, we're super powerful. Quite poetic, I think, using their own growth energy against them.
Those agitated Toma quelled, there is but one task ahead. We shall ferry you and your enlightened companion up to the creation catalyst. The rest is up to you.
Onward and upward.
Don't worry, Draven, I'm used to it. Many disparate things can be created or repaired with the creation catalyst. The tiles surrounding it must be pressed in a particular order to achieve our intended. I will commune directly with the catalyst. The symbols you must touch will manifest above the device. With this act, I will break the first law of my people, a law that I helped make, but my path was forked and I must walk it. I see. Okay, yes. Let's begin.
You must activate the symbols in the correct order. There, I see it. That was right. A new symbol. Keep it up.
Yep.
There, another. Correct. Ah, a symbol. That was right. There, I see it. Well done. Another. Correct. You have successfully restored the Translocator Key.
We've done it.
I will be here when you need another favor.
You have rescued many pilgrims, and I have restored your entrance to the sepulchre. With that, our bargain is concluded, and so too is my pilgrimage. But your journey continues. Return to the Overlook behind Pilgrim's Grace and open the Translocator. My thanks. The adventure has been enlightening.
Good luck in your future endeavors.
Okay.
What have you learned today? Time and...
We'll just take this back over to that area. Whee! Hey guys.
If the jailer has breached the sepulchre,
Sylvanas.
then he is but a breath away from enacting his plan.
We cannot allow that to happen.
So, yeah. Her new model. Even though it's, yeah. Because it's, you know, she went back to, like, the older armor she used to wear. And, of course, one of the main big differences here is, of course, her eyes. Yeah, don't you give me that look. There was a part of me that was really looking forward to killing you. I'm going to hold off on that, though. For now. Don't give me a reason to change my mind. Alright, what's up, Olvar?
Tell the others what you told me.
You all have witnessed the jailer's power firsthand. Without the means to resist his domination, we have no chance against him. Anduin may be the key, if we can save him from—
You dare speak of freeing him after all you have done!
Sylvanas held the Mournblade that bound him. Her presence may help free Anduin from the jailer's grasp.
I will never trust her.
Then trust in me.
Always, Uther. Very well. We will prepare to enter the sepulchre and save Anduin. Together.
The next step is a large one. Are you ready?
Well, there's the summoning stone. And there's the raid entrance. Well, there's no quest in here, but I wonder if it's inside. It's probably one of those quests you pick up inside the raid entrance, although I wonder if it's even going to let me step inside. Nope, I have to be in a raid group to enter. Yep. Alright, so now we know how to get to this. You basically just, if you take that there, and then you go here, take that, and just kind of make your way up here to the entrance. Especially if you are going to be helping with summoning for your raid group. So, we have made it to the sepulchre. And I'm guessing that is the end of this chapter here. Since it didn't look like there was any part... From what I understand, they're actually planning on having the last few bosses unable to be done for like a period of time to help tell the story. Because apparently the idea is you go into the raid, you get up to Anduin, and then the raid stops. And then you continue with the story here with the chapters, and then the raid will continue. Like, once you do the chapters, then they're going to actually open up the raid. I'm about to spoil the raid here for you. Here we go. So, the way they said that they were going to do this is these bosses from Vigilant Guardian all the way down to Anduin here was going to be how the raid would end for like the first, what'd they say, few weeks or month or whatever it was. Then we would do the, like, you know, because that's where the story would stop at the moment. Then I think we would do the chapters to continue the story. Then the last few bosses would open up. So I think that's what they said they were going to be doing. I'm kind of eager to see how that's going to go. Yeah, so... I'm wondering if I will actually get to try out this raid in this first week. Since I can't join my guild because I'll be busy at work, I would probably have to join another random group in order to see what it's like firsthand. Of course, I should probably also look up some videos on what people were saying about how these fights are going to go. Start learning this raid before I delve in. But until then, what I'm probably going to do is, looks like we're done with the story for this week. Because, of course, LFR is also not going to open up until later. I won't be able to show you the story of the raid until more of LFR opens up later on. But what I can do, however, is show you the cool dungeon that came out called Tazavesh. So that will more than likely be what we take a look at next when we come back. Stay tuned.